जय जय श्री गांधर के गिरिधारी चैतन्य महाप्रभु लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की पावन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी. Once again, I request everyone, just please keep on chanting the holy names and do this kirtan. It creates auspiciousness. It creates an atmosphere, a positive energy. An example of a room freshener, just spraying the room freshener, what happens? You can just smell some good thing. When there is a bad smell also, when you just spray it, you can feel the good freshness of the smell. The same way, just in the mornings, doing this kirtan or chanting the holy names, it creates an auspicious atmosphere. All the negativity will be vanished from our life. You just practice and see, and you'll experience this. Okay. Yes, Chandrasekhar.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Welcome to all again. Hare Krishna to all. So today we have a lesson about chapter 7, which is knowledge of the absolute. Yesterday we learned about Dhyana Yoga and different stages of levels there. Today Prabhuji will explain about knowledge of the absolute. Here Sri Krishna will tell about like he is the origin for material world as well as the spiritual world. He is the reason for everything. And we can also learn about where all in our day-to-day life we can see Krishna, and he will be with us all the time. So Prabhuji will explain more about that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Once again, welcome to all. So today we'll be discussing on the 7th chapter, as I said yesterday itself. The first 6 chapters speak about karma yoga, how to do karma, how to engage more in this material world, how to become perfect in this kind. And the last 6 chapters explain jnana yoga, through jnana, how to develop the jnana, the knowledge, these things. But the middle part is the most important. It teaches about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and us, how to create a relationship. What is bhakti? The bhakti yoga is the middle of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Krishna is protecting it. You know the sandwich on the top and the bottom will be bread, and middle part will be the same way. Which is tastier? The middle part. The same way, this bhakti will be so tasty to hear, and it pleases the heart. Just connecting to the Lord, it pleases. Actually, the happiness is in always bhakti. Just hearing the reduce the happiness. Only devotees who are experiencing this can feel, or taking part in this, or participating, or just performing in their day-to-day life, they can experience this. Others, definitely it will be something like, Prabhupada gives an example, just licking the outer bottle of the honey, what taste will you go get? So nowhere you will be getting. Only without participating, you cannot feel this. Okay, and today it is knowledge of absolute. So before understanding this, it's a process, it's a secret, it's a formula. Like I have a process to understand this, not just with the egoistic nature or the material knowledge, intelligence will be able to understand this. Definitely we need mercy of Guru and Krishna. So we need humble prayers for this. So please hold your hands along with me and let us chant this Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Ishtapadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayavata Swaminithi Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitakrapapataya Gaurakatathamataya Nagarakam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Chaitanya Ishwara. So let us show our thanks, our dedication, our gratitude, and mentally prostrated obeisances to the lotus feet of Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanar Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, okay, before discussing today's chapter, let us see yesterday's chapter, the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga, which is impractical, which we cannot execute in our life. But still, it teaches a lot, gives a lot of knowledge for us. So we were able to understand what is the enemy or friend to us. Who is that enemy? It is the mind. So we are making our mind as our friend or enemy. When we have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, definitely mind is our best friend. If we don't have this knowledge, it will be the worst enemy of our life. It makes us to degrade more and more. Many things we learned yesterday, isn't it? Then Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, the 8 levels of yoga where you can achieve the supreme by Dhyana. The last is Samadhi. Actually, Bhakti starts from Samadhi. Then finally, it's a very difficult process and never impossible process it is. Now Arjuna, with his kind heart, is asking, my dear Krishna, what will happen to them if they fail in this endeavor? If they're not able to success it. Krishna says, Arjuna, you don't worry. I'll take care of them. So what will I do? The next birth will be in somewhere in a good family, in a very aristocratic family or in a devotee's family, where they'll get all the atmosphere or the help to engage in my devotional service, where they can make their life perfect. Actually, I hope we also might be somewhere yogis in our many previous lives. So now we are getting an opportunity to engage in Lord's loving service. So we should be very serious and do as much as possible. And finally, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatena antaratma. Among all yogis, it is he who is perfect, who engages in my loving service. It's very clear. The message is very clear. So how much clear is my brain or my intelligence? Whether I filled with my contaminations or it is very clear. Okay. And today's the most important chapter, 7th chapter. And here it doesn't start from question, it starts from answer. And Krishna, with his love, with his kind-hearted, is giving the knowledge where you cannot see anywhere in the scriptures. You can just turn out all the Vedas, all the Puranas, all the Upanishads, wherever you go, you cannot find a knowledge like this. Here, Krishna is directly saying that I am the Supreme. Nowhere you can find this. And many things to know this. Actually, in those days, even the great Maharishis did not know who's the Lord. You know the story of Bhrigu Muni? And it was Bhrigu Muni, was the son of Brahma. So there were many great Munis, Rishis has gathered and they were doing yajna. And finally, to give the harvest, they were not knowing who is perfect, who is the supreme among the 3 main deities, that is Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Finally, they represented Bhrigu Muni to go and find. So how to find? Just by examining, isn't it? So he will go to Brahma. See, Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, he'll offend all the 3. Through his Manasa, he will offend Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma, see, a Brahmana even if he's a son, he's a Brahmana, if he comes, he has to give respect. At least he has to welcome him something. but where was immersed in Saraswati's Veena. He was not able to see Bhrigumuni. So from mentally offended him and he cursed him that you shouldn't be worshipped in this world. Then finally he went to Lord Shiva, who was his brother. And there he was in his Natya, Nataraja, he was just dancing with Parvati. Even he did not observe him. So with this, verbally he insulted Lord Shiva and cursed that you should have only Linga Puja. You shouldn't be worshipped your form. He cursed. Manasa Vacha. Then Karmena, he came to Vaikuntha. Just see the power of this Rishi. He can go to all the places, but he's an illiterate. Because he don't know about the Lord. Who is the Lord? But we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate. Krishna has given this Bhagavad Gita to us. He's showing who is the Supreme Lord. Finally, he'll go and he'll just, even he was in Yoga Nidra, where Goddess Lakshmi Devi was serving these lotus feet, and he was in a Yoga Nidra. He went and just kept his leg on the chest of the Lord. He offended with his action. Then the Lord opened his eyes and he said, oh my dear Brahmana, Brahmanottama, you're the topmost of all the Brahmanas. You're so soft in heart and your body. My chest is something like a thunderbolt. I don't know how far your lotus feet has been got hurted by keeping your legs on my chest. He does Pada Sevata. Then finally, it's a big story. I don't want to elaborate it. Finally, he'll come and he'll conclude that it's Lord Vishnu who is the Supreme. Because even by action offending him, his response was the same. So in that way, they need so much of things. Even then they decided Lord Vishnu is Supreme. But till then, they don't know the expansion of Vishnu comes from Krishna. So such is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Directly Krishna is given. Okay, fine. Hearing. So he says, Shravanam is important. Hearing is important. Tachruno. Arjuna, you hear this message. And everywhere, since you can, after hearing this, you'll be able to release or experience the Lord everywhere in our life or every particle that we see. And accept and reject. But even fools don't accept this. After so much of knowledge, also they don't accept. And there are people who accept or reject. Then Devatas. Finally, Krishna says, even knowing all this, when you go to the Devatas, they worship the Devatas. Finally, who's giving them? Is me. And what only Devatas can give, everything, many things becomes here. So before going this, always I say I'll start with a small story. Today I'll say with a small story to understand this. This gives a lot of message to us. Lot of message. It just makes us to come to our reality. Okay, so just, I hope you all have seen this Animal Planet or National Geographic channel. They make a film of these animals, the birds and the insects. They take the life history of this. So how it takes birth, how it grows, how it, and something, everything. It's like a story form and they do it. So once this camera person, he was just fixed his camera to an insect, a flying insect. So what he was just capturing, how it lays the eggs and what happens, everything. So he was just watching there. The insect just laid the eggs, and after a few days, that eggs started hatching. And the eggs used to take more than some 4 to 5 hours to hatch. It was just a great struggle for the fly to come out of the egg. It was struggling, it came out, and then it just started jumping here and there for 5-10 times, and finally it started flying, and it was flying. So many eggs were hatched, it was going. And one egg, the same thing, he thought, let me help. Why it is struggling like this? So one fly started coming out of the egg. Just he took small what I can say, stick, and just started opening the egg. Very easily it came out. It did not had any struggle. It came out. You know what happened? It started jumping here and there, here and then it started jumping 20 times, 50 times, 100 times. Finally, it just died there without, not had the capability of flying. Finally, it died there. That's it. What did you understand from this? Actually, difficulties, struggle in our life is good. Problems in our life is good. It makes us capable. The challenges in our life is good. It makes us to fly. When we have an easy, comfort life, we may not fly in our life. That means we may not progress in our life. We may not reach the Vaikuntha. We may not reach the spiritual planet. When we have struggle in our life, we struggle to cross all the challenges, and finally we'll be able to reach the spiritual world. That's why the creation of material world. Don't think Lord is without any intelligence. Why He has created this? Why He has created human beings? Why we are struggling? What is this problem? Yes, we might be ignorant of this knowledge, but Krishna knows everything. He is supreme. He has given there's some purpose in all this. No? When there is a struggle, it's helpful to us. We should thank the Lord that you are giving me so many challenges so that I can win in my progress of my life. I'll be able to reach you more nearer and nearer by this so many problems and challenges. That's what happened in Pandava's life. The whole life was a challenge to them. Finally, they reached the Supreme Lord, their destination. So actually they are Nitya Muktas, but still as a pastime, Krishna is showing them. This is life. This is how you have to live. Yeah. Okay. Now let us go further. Overview. So HEAD is the acronym, and hearing, everywhere in essence, accept or reject, and devatas. So these are the topics that we will be discussing. And the first verse of the chapter, Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamana Bharta Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatagnachashi Tachrunu. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pratha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, completely devoted to me, always remembering me, thinking me, and manmanabha madbhakta madhyaj mam namaskuru. What is the result? With mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt, without any doubt. You will be able to realize who am I and what is your purpose of life or your duties. Everything will be revealed by just hearing this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. How Krishna starts. Actually, this knowledge never ever you can find anywhere other than Bhagavad Gita and with a bona fide spiritual master. Bhagavad Gita, many will explain, but in their own intelligence or in the material terminology, they try to explain or try to understand this. This is transcendental. This is beyond material. Never ever you can even expect, even you cannot even imagine this knowledge through our material senses or intelligence. Okay, such is important. And now we'll see the authenticity of hearing or saying what is the importance. Hearing, Lord Krishna's message is for hearing. Before meditating, hear about Him. So without knowing who is supreme, who is the Lord, how can you worship Him? How can you create a love to Him? Without having any relationship, how can you serve Him? And by serving, you should know Him. What is He? So how is He helping me? What is the Supreme Lord? So many things to be known. And for that purpose, you have to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And He reveals knowledge about Himself. So in this, gives the knowledge about Himself. So what is Supreme Lord? The rarity of this knowledge, as we discussed, it is very rare. You may not be able to find anywhere else other than Bhagavad Gita. Now, how can a child know who his father is? Why do we need this knowledge? Is it any necessary in our life? Without this Bhagavad Gita also, I can lead a life. But what kind of a life, Yes, see. Can we know who is our father? So what is the process? Is it by conducting DNA test? Many will be saying, yes. Why not? The DNA test, I can be able to know who is our father. Yes. When you have a doubt in 2 or 3 males, you can find by DNA test. But you yourself don't know who is a father. There are millions and millions. How many DNA tests you'll be able to do to find your father? It's impossible. Then is it by guessing, oh, my eyes are small, his eyes are small, my eyes are big, or nose is big, so his nose is big, so he might be my father, he might be my father. Can we recognize this? No. Is it by working permutations, by experimental things, or is it that we know from the mother? It's so simple. No? Just ask mother, my dear mother, who is my father? She will say you. Who can say a better answer than mother? Because she knows who is her. That is scriptures. Scriptures are our mother. Just accept what Shastra says. That becomes authentic. Not somebody is saying whoever is saying, just accept it accordingly. Or whatever we see from our eyes. There are three ways of accepting the truth. Three processes for acquiring knowledge. Pratyaksha pramana. What is this pratyaksha pramana? Direct perception, which I believe only what I see. How foolish are we? Corona virus, we are not able to see. Now we are accepting it. That there is some virus, there is some bacteria which affect us. This is the problem we are getting. How can you accept without seeing? Many times we say, no, I accept only what I see. Whatever we see, it's not complete. First point, the reality vision itself we don't have. And Lord's knowledge is apaurushaya. It's not only Shabda, it's apaurushaya. The Bhagavad Gita is apaurushaya. It is free from 4 defects. What are the 4 defects? Imperfect senses. The very first thing is imperfect senses. For example, we have a wall and we are within the inside the house. What is happening outside? We don't know. We cannot see that. That means our senses are imperfect. And something is happening. We cannot hear that. We are always in assumption. But Lord's senses are perfect. Every sense can do all the activities. When we offer some prasadam to the Lord, some bhoga, he accepts through his eyes. Just by the vision, he will eat that. He never ever can compare the Lord because we are defected by this 4 faults. So one is imperfect senses. Then the second is illusion. We are in illusion that I am this body. Finished. That creates all the, whatever you think, it will be based on our material intelligence. So we are in illusion and we commit mistakes. Because of these 2 features, always we commit a mistake. And after committing a mistake, we always have a tendency to cheat that what the mistake I have done is right. That is what today's scientists are doing. One scientist comes with a new theory. He says, this is perfect. After a few years, another scientist comes with his own theory, stating that the previous theory is wrong. This is the perfect. Definitely, this is not science. Science is unchangeable. Bhagavad Gita from past 5,000 years, forget about Vivasva, from past 5,000 years, not even a single word is required to be changed. It's for Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. There's no need of change because it is Apaurusha. It is coming directly from the Lord. It doesn't need any change. That is science. And nowadays science is Pratyaksha Pramana, what they see with this Mamsa Chakshu, by this contaminated eyes and by their senses, they think it's clean. And they say, oh, I have this binocular, I have this stethoscope, I have many things this kind, that I will be able to microscope and find these things. Are we not fools? I myself imperfect. I'm imperfect and something I am creating and claiming that it is perfect. How that can be possible? See, my created thing should be a perfect thing, then I should be perfect before creating. No. If myself I am imperfect, how can I create an object which is perfect? How can I say a binocular or microscope, whatever we see from this distance or whatever we experiment, it's all completely perfect. Binocular we see and we see, oh, these are the stars, this is sun, this is this. No, we are so foolish and we accept, oh, scientists, great, they are inventing so many things because we are ignorant, we don't know about it, so we accept. So this knowledge is rejected. It is not, yes, it is required. We need eyes, we need our senses, but we cannot claim that it is perfect. Here, the second was Anumana Pramana. Anumana is additional to this Pratyaksha. After Pratyaksha, see, something for a sound is coming outside the house, then Anumana, oh, it's the neighbors who are quarreling. You yourself concluded by Anumana. Finally, you do open the door, you'll see that some new person has come and they are quarreling, not your neighbors. Clear? Always the pratyaksha, for pratyaksha we had this anumana. In this way, we try to understand the Supreme Lord. He might be God. He might be God. Because we don't take the help of mother. We don't accept mother. But we want to know who is our father. Is this possible? So in that way, we have all the devatas. We worship in our own mood. Whimsically, we decide ourselves that he can be supreme. He will be supreme. Whomever I am worshipping, he will be supreme. In this way, we are spoiling our life. And we say, our ancestors has done so many things. We have to follow them. We'll do accordingly. We will never give up. We will never. This is our nature. Our qualities. So if we just follow that. But actually, what is truth? Shabda Pramana. The Vedic knowledge. What scriptures are saying. All the scriptures say, it is Krishna who is the Supreme Lord. He is the only God. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. All the cause of all causes, it is Sri Krishna. Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Parama is the supreme controller. Brahma Samhita says this. And in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says many places. Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. Now it comes the verse. He says that everything is me. And in 10th, this thing he says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Everything is the source of everything, it's me. And Srimad Bhagavatam says, Ete Chamsakaha Kalapam Sa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavatam says this. And Shankaracharya, he himself claimed in the final, it's only one scripture, it's only one Supreme Lord. It is Krishna and it is Bhagavad Gita. And only one service we have, only one job we have, service to the Supreme Lord. It was very clear instruction. But how far we are accepting this knowledge because we ourselves are ignorant, contaminated with so many material contaminations, feeling difficult to accept it, absolute or beyond my perception knowledge. Okay, similarly, how can we know Krishna? Therefore, one has to learn from scripture, Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna. So in this way, we have to try to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. It shouldn't be without any doubt. Krishna says, Tachshrono, without any doubt, you'll be able to understand that I am the Supreme, not by guessing, work, speculation, etc. So the best way to acquire knowledge is Shabda Pramana. It is known as Shabda Pramana. What is Shabda Pramana, you know? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. To take out any one out of it, it cannot be authentic. The message should come from a bona fide guru, and that guru should have another guru, and they should have a parampara. It's a parampara of guru, shishya, spiritual master and the disciple parampara should be there. And finally, what they are saying, it should be from the scriptures. Whenever I give the class or whatever I'm saying, it's all the evidence of the scriptures. There's so many verses I quote here. A bona fide parampara or the representative of the spiritual master, never ever they speak whimsically. Even Srila Prabhupada not say even a single word of his own. This Bhagavad Gita has been given from the Acharyas. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushan's 2 commentary keeps. He reads that from that essence, he gives the Bhagavad Gita to us as Bhagavad Gita as it is. He finally says that, many say that, oh, Srila Prabhupada, you are so great, you are given so many scriptures to us. Prabhupada says, no, it's all from the previous Acharyas which I'm giving. Only one credit I can take is that I have not done an interpretation of a single word from this. I have not whimsically written even a single word. I have followed the instructions of my spiritual master that never ever I'll interpret any words. So it's so bona fide. So when you just touch this book or take even a single word, somewhere it touches our heart because there's so much of weightage in it. It is authentic. It's so powerful. Other books may not give you so much of knowledge or so much of clarity because they themselves don't. He is not a devotee. But here, Srila Prabhupada, a complete devotee who is a slave, who is completely surrendered to his spiritual master, only can become a spiritual master. This point should be very clear in our heart whenever we go to some Swamiji and accept Him as our. Okay. Then everywhere and essence, seeing Krishna everywhere, source of matter and spirit. You can see here in this 3 verses, 7.4, he says, what is Prakriti? 7.5, he says, who is superior to this Prakriti? And finally says, who is Ishvara? Krishna is the essence and the cause of every. And before this, 7.3, Krishna says, Manushanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Datati Siddhaye. Arjuna, among millions, only few take up this knowledge. Only few. Everyone are not capable of doing it. Only you completely surrender to the words of the spiritual master and the scriptures, they can do this. Not everyone. Okay, now Krishna says here, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kammana buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme binna prakritarashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. The material energy, the nature which we are seeing, is the energy of the Supreme Lord, but it is separated. It should be very clear. I'll just give an example how to understand this. Now you're hearing me. This is my direct energy. Never ever you can hold my tongue or my mouth and you can say, you cannot control me. You know? The words, whichever is coming from my mouth, you cannot control me. But there's a recording going on. The new YouTube, after coming, hearing this, you hear the YouTube, you have some work, you just pause me. I'll be stopped. I'll be sitting, I'll be waiting for you. And once again, you can just start. And once again, I start speaking. You are controlling me because my energy is separated. The same way the nature is the energy of the Lord. How are we able to control that? Because it is separated from the Lord. Clear? Hankara ityame binna prakritarashtada. It is separated material energy. This should be very clear. So there's 5 gross items, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These are the 5. This is known as the gross body or the nature which you are able to see from our eyes. This is gross. So it is Panchabhutas we see. And what is subtle? Mind, intelligence, and false ego, which is within this gross body. And within that gross body is the soul. You can see in this picture. There is soul. Beyond the soul, it is the intelligence, mind, and then ego, covered by the gross body. Clear? Yes. Now, Krishna says about this superior to this separated energy. The nature is separated, but there is superior to this nature, that is Jiva Bhutam Mahabha. Apareyam mitastvanyam prakrutim viddime param Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho yayadam dharyate jagat. This living entities are superior to this separated energy, the nature. And they are exploiting it. They are utilizing it. Besides this, oh mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. And the demons, we are actually becoming demons. Actually, the real purpose of this, Krishna says in the 3rd chapter itself, Yajnarthat karmananyatra lokoyam karma bandhanah. So how the activities has to be done as a karma. All this material energy, whatever we have to just take that and submit in the lotus feet of the Lord. As the servants of the Lord, we should engage in the Lord's service. Each and flower, fruit, vegetables, whatever we see, whatever we get in this material world, everything should be used in the service of the Lord. That is the real purpose of this creation. But the demons, what we are doing as demons, we are utilizing everything for our sense gratification and we are getting binded. That's why Krishna is saying, exploiting the resources of this material inferior. In that way, we get binded. How we are superior to the nature? Mamaivamsha jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana, because the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So they are superior to this material which is separated from the Lord. We are actually always with the Lord. That's why Paramatma is always within us. Never ever he gives up. Even we take the form of a hog, a cat, a dog, or a insect in the stool. Even then Krishna is with us. as Paramatma, that because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So we are superior to this nature. But definitely superior to the nature also. Nature controls us. We are not able to control the nature because we are, I'll just say to the next thing, when we are not in our constitutional position, we become inferior to it. Okay. In this knowledge, by having this two knowledge, Krishna says very clearly, knowing these two things, you'll be able to see me everywhere. When you see this mobile, you can see this is Krishna. This some box is Krishna. Eating things is Krishna. Tree is Krishna. Stone is Krishna. Whatever you say, Krishna, because everything is Krishna's energy. Krishna's energy. Whatever you see, it is Krishna's energy. This is the vision you get. This is the transformation happens in our life. Fools, they say many things. Avajananti mamuda manusham tanumashruta. They're all fools. They declare that there is no God because even Krishna has taken the form of a human being. They say, oh, there is no God. He is also an ordinary person. He is some great person, great personality, great king or something like that. They are not in a situation to accept Krishna as a supreme law. I don't know whether you are all in which kind of consciousness to understand this. You need a very pure consciousness to accept completely that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. After this knowledge, is 2 verses sufficient. You will be able to understand whatever you see. You'll be able to recognize Krishna in it. And Krishna is giving the examples also how to recognize this. Taste of water. When you have drinking the water, you can choose that taste. And that taste is Krishna. And light of the sun, it's Krishna. Just I'll say the sun. What is your sun? Sun is a particle of Brahmajyoti. And what is Brahmajyoti? Brahmajyoti is the effulgence of Lord Krishna's body. The effulgence that is coming, emanating from the body of Krishna is known as Brahmajyoti. And a small particle of Brahmajyoti is the sun. That is the power of the Supreme Lord. When you have this knowledge, you will be able to see clear. That's why the great Acharyas and the Mahatmas, whenever the sun rises, they just fold their hands and they give obeisances. Surya Namaskara. Gratitude to the Supreme Lord. We being fools or illiterates or ignorant, we are not able to recognize this. And we claim ourselves, oh, we are all very superior to the superstitious things. We have come out of this kind of ignorance, many things like that. Then sound of ether and intelligence in intelligent and ability in man. In this way, there are many millions of examples you can take to be able to understand that. You can see the presence of Krishna. Okay, then now Krishna says another, he gives an example how to understand this. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvam vidam bhuktam sutre manigana iva. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. You cannot find a superior truth than me. You cannot find an absolute truth. This is. You cannot find this truth anywhere in any scriptures other than Bhagavad Gita. You cannot find. And he's saying the example now. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Have you seen the pearls necklace? Pearl necklace? Everyone says, oh, such a beautiful pearl, such a beautiful necklace, such a beautiful this thing. But we may not be able to see the inner part, that is a thread. And the pearls are standing on the help of the thread. We may not be able to recognize that. We may not be able to see that. Who will be able to see that? Okay, who will be able to recognize that? A person who is jewelry, isn't it? Who is doing this pearl necklace, he will be able to understand. An inner person will be able to understand. When we go to a jewelry shop, just see the decorated things, we may not know that. But a person who is inside, who is putting pearls into the thread, he will be able to recognize what kind of quality of the thread, what kind of this thing, how much we are putting, what we are doing it. Outsider may not know. The same way, only a devotee can recognize this, not the outsider. That's why Krishna says, Bhaktya mama vijanati yavan yashmitatvataha. Only a devotee can understand this. Only an inner person can understand this, not the external person. We're all outsiders. We're not attending this class. We're not unknown about this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Never ever they'll be able to understand this. This message is very crystal clear. It's only thing we have to, as I said in the very beginning, we should be very clear, not putting grease in our contaminated. Putting grease on our hand, whatever we touch, it becomes greasy. Using our material intelligence, we can, even in this, you can take in different understandings and you can claim this is not truth or something like that. When we are very clear, this knowledge is also very clear. Okay. Now, another question arises. So now this nature is inferior, but still I'm not able to control. This nature is controlling me, no? Three gunas, actually the three gunas, it is controlling me. This body, the senses is controlling me. Being a soul superior to this senses and mind and intellect, everything, I'm not able to control that. Why? Krishna says, Daiviyeshu gunamayi mama maya duratye mam yevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Daiviyeshu gunamayi, these gunas, this nature is my energy, my dear Arjuna. You cannot overcome this. Mama maya duratya. But how can you overcome? Mam evaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. When you surrender unto me, very easily you will be able to overcome this. Small example I give. For example, you see this politician, a great king, or take an example of a chief minister or someone. So when he's entering the house, you can see this police cops. Just they salute them, they respect them. In the same way, when the minister's son is going, what will they do? They respect even the minister's son because he's the son of that minister. Clear? It's very clear. The same way, nature's duty is to obey me because I'm the son of the Supreme Lord. She has to obey to me, whatever I say. That's why you can see Mahatmas, whatever they say, nature goes according to that. Nature does whatever they order. So then why it's not happening to me? It's the same example. The same minister's son, he goes and does some mischievous thing, some abominable thing, wrong, or some illegal thing. The same police who was saluting to him, now they are arresting him. Clear? The same cops, they are going and arresting the same person. So many days they used to salute him, and today they are arresting him because he is doing something illegal against the law. The same way, when we don't obey to the Supreme Lord, the same Prakriti punishes us. We have been put into this trap of material world. This is known as jail. In this jail, in the 8th chapter, tomorrow's session. So in this jail we are kept and we are punished for our purification. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond. Now, once again, the message is very clear. Only devotees, only who surrender unto me can be free from this bondage. Others, Krishna says, how much ever you surrender unto me, so much I'll give you. It's very simple. Go to a shop, give 10 rupees, he will give 10 rupees product. Give 100 rupees, he will give 100 rupees product. Why Krishna is showing any partiality? He is not showing any partiality here. You just catch hold of his lotus feet, he will reveal you everything and he will help you. And you yourself think I am superior, I can do everything. Yes, do it. Why will he help you? So how much we are attentively chanting the holy names of the Lord, offering to the Lord the bhoga and eating the prasadam and reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, making our life perfect. Okay, now let us see the 4 people who accept the Lord and 4 people who reject the Lord. 4 kinds of men who never surrender and 4 people who surrender to the Lord. And among the 4 people who are surrendering, who is better? The jnani and the devotee is very rare. Krishna says here, Namam dushkruti no mura prapadyante naradamaha maya pahrita jnana asuram bhavamashritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. These are the 4 people who don't surrender unto me. First person is, they said first, dushkrutina. Very simple, dushkrutina. Who is dushkrutina? Who is doing the sinful activities or the such kind of activities? Who is against the Lord? Who is against the Lord's instructions? Who is against Bhagavad Gita? Who is against scriptures? Very simple. Dushkrutina. They are known as dushkrutas, who are doing the sinful activities. And the first person is Mudha. Mudha, actually, in Sanskrit word, Muda has two meanings. One is fool, another is ass. Muda is known for ass, just working like ass. See here, Muda and Artha will come there. Both are similar. He's with problems. And he thinks that by working, I can lead my life. I can make my life perfect by working harder from day, night, 16 hours a day. From the morning, I'll go to the office and come in the night. And once again, sometimes I do the night duty also. Working like an ass. That is not the life. Actually, life is different. What we are enjoying today is our previous punya, previous pious activities, results we are enjoying now, not that what I'm doing now. So you can see for that examples for that, many are working hard, nothing they're able to achieve. But some you can see they're not working hard. They simple work, earn more. Why? Whatever I should get, only that much I'll be getting. This Mudas cannot understand. And it is so complicated. Even great personalities cannot understand Mudas. Just to understand this, once what happened, small story. One sadhu, he was saying, the king should be wise person. The king should know the spirituality. Every day he'll come and he'll start teaching him Bhagavad Gita. This fool, this king is not able to understand. He says, my dear king, give up all this, take up Krishna consciousness. Well, not the duties. You do the duties, but keep the consciousness of Krishna. He says, no. I have so much of duties. I have to take care of my country, this he was doing. Sadhu became fed up of it, frustrated. He cannot. Said, okay, can you help me? Yes, my dear Sadhu, what I should do? Call some biggest fool of your country, your kingdom, and give him this danda. He'll give one danda and pay him the salary every month. Okay, why not? I'll do this. You'll send all the soldiers to find a better Muda or the fool. One fool is brought and he'll say to the fool, you keep this danda and just keep rotating my kingdom. I'll be giving you the monthly salary. Oh, fine, my dear. He just is a fool, no? He just keeps on rotating. So this passes for many years, and one day the king's death has come. And now he's calling everyone. He's just fulfilling everyone's desires, whatever they want, he's giving. The doctor has said, today is your last day. Some more than that, you will be living today. Has come to an end. Then finally remembers this mood so many years.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Is
Looks like your network is down. Your voice
he
is
says to the mood, see, you worked hard for so many years. Now I'll give you treatment. You sit in the house. You to you. Search for another Buddha. Yes.
Prabhu, your network looks like down. Not able to hear you properly. What is connected? Prabhuji will connect back again. Wait for a minute or two. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Actually, this is the material world. How much ever you try to be perfect, you'll be experiencing such kind of things in our life. Isn't it? This is an example. So we struggle hard to make us perfect or to lead a better life, but always we have challenges in our life. this kind of experience will be happening now. So same thing. We shouldn't be muda that I can become perfect. We should accept it. Yes, this is life. Let us accept it. So here, that king, he called it muda. Previous to this, all was audible, no Prabhu? Yes. So here,
Prabhu, we can explain from last few sentences because it was not clear.
oh, is it? Okay. So once the sadhu explains this Bhagavad Gita, this transcendental knowledge, divine knowledge to the king, he is not in a situation to accept. And finally says, okay, can you do one favor to me? So call some muda, some fool of your kingdom, and give him this danda and pay him monthly salary. Let him rotate. Do pradakshina of your kingdom. Yes, fine, why not? He'll send some soldiers and get a good fool of his kingdom, and he'll give this month danda, some danda, like he gives that, and he says, he keep on rotating my kingdom always. I'll pay you the salary. And this passed on for a few years, and later part, the end days of king. So his death came, and the doctors said that this is your last day, you may not live. So he started fulfilling all the desires of all his subjects, his wife, children. And finally, remember this Muda is there, no? Let us call him. He called him and said that I'm going to give you retirement. I'll be giving you the salary, monthly salary. You sit in house. But one thing you have to do for me. You find a better fool than you in our kingdom and give this mantra danda to him. So let him rotate. Okay, okay, my dear king, whatever you instruct, I'll do accordingly. So why are you doing this now? No, his name itself is Muda. He says, I am leaving this body, I'm going somewhere. Who is it? Oh, my dear king, can you take this, your wives with you? You have 4 wives. Please take them with you so that it will be helpful. Now the wives are scared that he's taking us with him. Then the king says, Arre, no, I cannot take this is my last life. I'm leaving this body. I cannot take my wife. He says, then take your soldiers, at least they'll help you. No, I cannot take. Okay, take this wealth from so many years you are earned in such hard earned money, you have earned so much. You carry this at least with you. Oh, my dear Muda, that is why we say you are a Muda, you are a fool. You cannot understand these topics. You just listen what I say. Take this danda, you take a better fool than you. You won't take rest, you'll be getting sad. And this person thinks, this Muda, and finally takes the danda and gives to the king. King becomes angry. Hey, Muda, fool, what are you doing? I asked you to find a better fool than you and give to him. You're giving to my hand. And that fool says, I feel you're a better fool than me. Because at least I don't know this knowledge. I'm a fool. I accept it. But you are a better fool than me because you know and you are a fool acting foolishly. You know that you cannot take your wife. You cannot take this wealth. You cannot take your name, fame, whatever is there, you cannot take with you. But so many days, you are just struggling for this. You wasted your life in this. So I feel you are a better fool than me. So please, you hold this thing. Then the sadhu gets satisfied because the king is realizing, my goodness, my purpose is now done. I wanted the king to understand, at least at the time of death, is realizing now if he gives up the life also, at least his next life will be followed with the same consciousness. At least in the end, he's thinking of the Lord. He knows what is the purpose of life. And at least in that way, he'll be able to liberate himself or make his life perfect. So this is Muda. We might be very great, but we may not be able to understand the purpose of life. Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Okay. Then the Naradama. Naradama is the lowest uncivilized person. Nara Adama. Nara means human being. Adama means lowest of all, is lowest of all. Then Maya Parta Jnana. Maya Parta Jnana means who is completely, this illusion has been entrapped him, like our scientist. So even for an ordinary person, you make him Krishna conscious very easily. But for the scientist, it's very difficult. They are the atheist. This material knowledge has just trapped them in that way. They may not be able to accept that there is Supreme Lord. They say, my experiment is more than everything. So Maya Prata Jnana is something, this material knowledge all claims to be zero. Without Krishna, everything is zero. When you have, without adding Krishna, even our inventions, all this becomes zero. When you have the spiritual knowledge, then you invent. Then there's a purpose, you can find better things. Our great acharyas, rishis, already they found everything. And the zero was found by, invented by Indians, and this orbit and this thing, many things. How did they do? The scriptures. Yeah. And Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, this is the lowest of all. Asuram is a demonic nature, like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, in this way. Atheistic people, openly they say there is no God, such as the four kinds of people who don't surrender to the Lord in any way. And then there's four people who surrender to the Lord. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukriti no jana ato jignasurarthati jnanicha bharatarshaba. Four people, sukritina, very clear. They are sukritina because they accept the Supreme Lord. Very clear. They might be ignorant. For example, I'm not offending anyone. We're all sitting here, including me. We're all ignorant, but we are ready to accept the Supreme Lord. But there are other people. They are also ignorant. They are not ready to accept. That's it. Very clear. So here, O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. That is, the distressed, who is with problems, the desire of wealth, who needs more and more wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. First is Artha. Artha is a person who is very distressed. The Muda is also distressed, He's also with problems, but he's foolishly working hard as an ass. He's not depending on the Lord. But this Artha is also having problems. He goes to the temple, he gives a small flower to the Lord, a fruit. He just gives obeisances to the Lord. My dear Lord, please help me. Please protect me. Some or the other, you show your mercy on me. He is also working hard. He goes to his job, but he's depending on the Lord. He's Artha. So he goes to the Lord. Then from there, Krishna makes him better. For example, the same person, Artha, he comes to ISKCON, you think. There's some devotees there, he says, you chant Hare Krishna, man. He gives some better knowledge. He does that. From chanting, he purifies himself and he removes all his karma and he'll be able to experience the bliss. So he'll come to the next level. Somewhere there is startup for him. And then Artharthi. Artharthi is a person who's very rich, but he wants to accumulate more and more wealth. For example, this Tirupati temple, many of them who go, they're all Artharthi. They have millions of wealth, but still they go. They'll have a tender with the Lord also, a business deal. My dear Lord, I have a tender now. This is of 1 crore. You see that this tender will come to me. I'll give you a share of amount. 10 lakhs I'll give you. That's why in their hundi, they just go and drop so much of money. They're all Artharthis, always having a business with the Lord. And this way, they also depend on the Lord. They don't say that I am a millionaire, I can do anything. But atheists do that. But this Artharthi is depending on the Lord. He's also a wealthy person, but he's depending on the Lord. He wants to earn more because he's having more desires. He wants to fulfill more. He is earning more, but he takes share to the Lord. He purifies it. Clear? Then Jignasu. And here most of us might be Jignasu also. I've come here to know something. Knowledge. What is life? They're very curious to know. Because they're frustrated somewhere in their life, also they burned their hand. So this is one more thing, important thing we should know. Do we touch the fire? We don't touch. Why? We know it burns. But can you remember when you burnt your finger? You may not remember it, isn't it? Somewhere in childhood you have burnt your finger, you still remember it. Oh, it burns. But when was that burnt? You don't know. But you know that fire is dangerous. You shouldn't touch. Same way. It's curious. In some lifetime they've experienced this. They don't know which lifetime, but still they're curious to know this, what is life. That's why we have started this Bhagavad sessions, not in this life. At least in some life, our life will become perfect. There's no doubt in it. Then Jnani, the one in search of knowledge. After this, a Jnani becomes Jignasu. Now, this is the Jnana that we are trying to acquire. So he becomes Jnani. And Krishna finally says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Bahunam janmanam ante. Many lifetimes you have to acquire the knowledge. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. Accumulating the knowledge. From many births, you will come to the final stage. That is Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Who's Vasudeva? Not Sri Krishna. He is the ultimate. He is the cause of all causes. This is the understanding he comes. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such person is a Mahatma. He is Sudurlabha. You may not be able to, it's very rarity, you may not be able to find him in this material world, because once he becomes a devotee, he will be in my spiritual world. Very simple. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Clear? Now we'll come to the next topic, is Devatas. In this verses, Krishna is saying, who worship the Devatas? Kamaistaisaśrita jnana prapadyante na devataha tam niyamamastaya prakritya niyatasvaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. People who are always immersed in this material desires and needs, and whose intelligence has been stolen, they think this is life. This is ultimate. Making a new house is my ultimate goal. Getting married is my ultimate goal. Producing children is my ultimate goal. This is how I'll settle in my life. This is the purpose of human life. This material intelligence has been just completely stolen there. Actually, material desires has stolen their intelligence. In that way, they go to the Devatas, because immediately they need the desire to be fulfilled. And definitely Devatas, they fulfill their desires. A small example I'll give to understand what is the difference between Krishna and Devatas. Both they provide us, but what Krishna will give us and what Devatas will give us. For example, a small child, ignorant child without any intelligence, is having 100 rupees in his hand. He goes to the shopkeeper. He gives this 100 rupees and asks for chocolates. My dear uncle, please give me these chocolates. What will the shopkeeper will do? He collects the 100 rupees and gives the chocolates. That's it. Very simple. Clear? That is the duties of Devatas. What Krishna does, for example, your father is the shopkeeper now. You go give this 100 rupees and ask for 100 rupees chocolates. What your father will say? Oh, my dear son, eating chocolates for 100 rupees a day will spoil your health. Your teeth get spoiled. So let me give you one chocolate a day. I'll give one chocolate every day so that you can enjoy the chocolate also. He will not give whatever you ask. He takes care of you. He sees your health. Clear? The same thing is the difference between Krishna and the Devatas. Why? Lots of desires, less intelligence, because we have a lot of desires, so we go to Devatas. Result, limited temporary result, go to the planets of Devatas. And they might go to even to heavenly planets, but not liberate from this material. Even heavenly planets has birth, death, old age, and disease. That's in the next chapter, I think you can see that. Abrahma, Bonaloka, Punaravartino Arjuna. From the Brahmaloka to the Patala, nobody can escape from this Janma Mrityu Charavyadi, birth, death, old age, and disease. It's very clear. So who go to the Devatas? When we don't have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we go to the Devatas for fulfilling our material desires. So don't get married. So we go to Shiva or we go to Parvati. They fulfill that. And I don't have education, we go to Saraswati. We don't have wealth, we go to Lakshmi. Lakshmi. When we don't have health, we go to Surya Narayana and pray him. This way, whatever the problems we have or the desires we have, we go accordingly to all the 33 crore Devatas. Depends. But even there, it is Krishna who gives it. It's not the Devatas. Krishna is giving this through Devatas. Okay. In the 9th chapter, we'll discuss that topic more. Now Krishna is saying who can become a devotee. Yesham tvantagatam papam janana punya karmanam edvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam druda vrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives And in this life, it's simple. We're all sitting here. Definitely in your previous lives also, you have executed some service to the Lord. That is called Sukruti. Somewhere, for example, I'll say you. Now, ISKCON is, somewhere devotees will be giving prashadam, So free prashadam will be distributed. Somebody will come, may I help you? Yes, why not? Please come. So he starts serving prashadam on behalf of the devotee. And the devotee has taken some rest. He'll be very pleased with these actions. Pleased with that conditioned person. So he gets a Sukruti because he has served the devotee. He gets Sukruti. Unknowingly, sometimes this prashadam is been eaten, he gets Sukruti. Somewhere you might have been eaten some prashadam offered to the Lord. So you get that Sukruti, and finally you'll be able to understand this Bhagavad Gita, or you get this attraction towards the spirituality. Without Sukruti, you don't get. You get Punya, you go to the material things. But when you get to the Sukruti, see, sometimes the prashadam is distributed to hundreds. They eat this, and when their, what I can say, Sukruti grows, then they'll get attracted to the spiritual life. It is not today's, it is some lifetime before or some years before, somewhere we might have been taken some prashadam. That is purifying us, and now we are able to take this knowledge. So it is from the previous life it starts, not previous, many lifetimes it starts. And in this life, we want to endeavor this, definitely we'll be able to accept this spiritual life. And whose sinful actions are completely eradicated. This is the next level. Who completely eradicates his sinful actions. He don't have any results. Then he'll become the pure devotee, or freed from the dualities of delusion. There is no duality to that such kind of a person. This material world is filled with dualities. Right, wrong, top, down. Yes, good and bad. Light, darkness. So many things. All it's filled with dualities. But he can see a vision beyond this duality. Yes, this vision, spiritual vision is beyond the dualities. That is the truth, actually. So what we are now in illusion, we see this day and night and good and bad and right and left. We'll be able to be beyond that. And they engage themselves in my service with determination. Such kind of personalities, they engage in my service in complete manasa vacha karmina, determination. Clear? Yes. So the 7th chapter, what all we came to know? Hearing. Shravanam is more important. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu-smaranam padasevanam archanam vandanam dasyam sakyam atmanivedanam. 9 processes of bhakti, devotional service. The first thing is Shravanam. Without attentive hearing, nothing you can achieve. Without, sorry, once again, I'm offending you all, I think. Without turning on your videos and attentively sitting and hearing, you may not be able to take completely what I'm saying. So attentivity is more important. Shravanam is more important. Okay. And 3 ways of gaining knowledge that we know this. Pratyaksha Pramana, Hanumana, and Shabda Pramana. The most important is Shabda Pramana from the Vedic knowledge, that is Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Then everywhere, everything, our vision changes then. We'll be able to recognize the Supreme Lord everywhere and anywhere by knowing this, that the source of everything is the Supreme Lord. Then accept and reject. Who accepts the Lord and who rejects the Lord. Dushkrutina, all the Dushkrutas will reject, and all the pious people. Sukrutina will accept the Lord. Then Devatas. Who go to the Devatas? Who's having more of material desires. Definitely without our knowledge, we go to the Devatas. Even coming to Krishna conscious, many go to Devatas. But still they have so much of desires. Oh, this Krishna is not giving me. Let me go to the Devatas. Yes. See, for example, a drunkard is requesting the Lord every day. My dear Lord, please give me 1 lakh rupee. Please give me 1 lakh. Never ever the Lord gives. He says, there is no Krishna, let me go to Devatas, they'll give you. The Krishna knows, my dear devotee, you're drinking. At least now you're getting 100 rupees per day, you're drinking 80 rupees and spoiling your health. If I give 1 lakh, what will happen to you? You'll drink everything and you'll die one day. And your wife and children all becomes helpless. So I don't want to give you this 1 lakh, you'll not give them. Devatas, oh, he is my devotee, let him be with me. So they give. And that person fully drinks and he dies. This is what. So many people, they don't come to Krishna because they need what they ask. They don't do it good. It's because we don't know what is our future. Krishna knows what is our future. So he's our Supreme Father. Never ever he'll allow us to get spoiled. He takes care of us with loving care. Lovingly doesn't give anything. So sometimes our parents beat us, Why is that? Oh, that is the enmity with us they have? No. We do some wrong things. They wanted their children to be good. They wanted to make them to learn better. So they sometimes beat, they chastise. Go to the school, go learn this. You don't do this mischief once again. Isn't it? The same way Krishna is giving these challenges in our life. Is giving so much of sorrow, this thing, everything, whatever comes in our life. It's everything good for us. Krishna wants us to progress in our life, want us to fly. We are jumping here and there, many lives, as a dog, as a cat, as a hog, as a horse, as a cow, and finally now we are come as a human being. Krishna wants us to fly to the spiritual world. So he gives problem. Problems are good. Okay, thank you. Now, tomorrow's session is another important session as our examination. So once again, there's with questions. Arjuna has around 8 questions. 7 questions immediately will answer, and the last question he gives the whole chapter. So what is the purpose of this life? And what is our examination? What happens at the time of death? These things, many questions will be answered. And finally, attaining the Supreme. And here I'll say about the yoga, which I did not say in the 6th chapter, I'll be saying here. So how the yogis attain the Lord, how difficult it is, how they have to make this chakra from the Kundalini chakra to Agnya chakra, how to raise that, and many things. And the pranavayu and many things tomorrow. And finally, devotion. Okay. Now, there's a quiz link already. I think it will be in your group now. Please do attend this quiz. It's just an attempt is sufficient. It makes you, it benefits you a lot. Now let us chant once Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shorshkanamnam Kalikalmashanashanam Natharopatropai Sarvavedeshu Drushyate. This is from Kalisantana Upanishad. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the 16th syllabus mantra, is the Maha Mantra. Kali Kalmashanashanam. The yuga which we are in, it's Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga contaminations can be removed only by this Maha Mantra. It's very clear. Natharo Pratropaya. There is no other way. Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam Kalo Nasteva, Gatirane. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyati. Even you search out for a better mantra than this, the whole Vedas, all the scriptures you take and start reading, also you may not find a better mantra than this. And who's saying this? Lord Brahma is saying to Narada. Lord Brahma, who is the creator, who is the first living entity of this universe. He is saying that you don't find a better mantra than this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for this Kali Yuga. Clear? Yes, thank you. And this is our Lakshmi Narasimha. Please pray to him, remove the obstacles that we might get during our devotion service also. And our loving beloved Radha Krishna. This is ISKCON HPR layout. And let us now take some questions. Before that, let us see some announcement. The reporting. Okay.
Thank you, bro. Yes, bro. So, anyone has questions?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Meantime, we'll take a look at the report. Raju Prabhu, you can share the report. Yes, bro. So, yesterday's attendance was around 57. Quiz was attended by 27 devotees. Chanting was done by 18 devotees. And Naivedya was performed by 16 devotees. Yesterday and day before, attendance was a bit less on Saturday and Sunday. Today, slight increase is there. We'll see in tomorrow's. Okay. There were 2 questions, Prabhu. We'll take these things.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Aparo Prabhu requests tell more about mind control ways, controlling the mind.
Mantra. Man means mind. Tra. Mantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you'll be able to control the mind. The easiest process. Never ever you can try the artificial things. It's very natural. And solution is already Krishna has given for us. Acharyas have given. We no need to experiment this and try some new things. Just mantra. The meaning of mantra itself controlling them. Chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, very easily you'll be able to control. And it's very practical also. Make the mind to sit. The most important thing is hearing, not chanting. Hearing is the important. 108 times you have to hear. Never saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You should have been hear that. You should say so louder so that you can hear it. Okay? Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. The next question is from Vaishali Mataji. So she says, it was mentioned that we should have beads while chanting the Maha Mantra. I have been chanting other mantras since many years, but counting in my mind. I don't use beads as somehow I feel the movement distracts me. So the only purpose of beads is for counting or anything else? That is first question, Prabhu. And the second question.
So the very first question answer, Acharyas say this. Acharyas say this. So the counting is more important. And mind control, by counting in the mind, how can you chant? How can you do two things? From day one, Samara was saying, you have to try to do one thing at a time, not 2, 3 things. So it's not possible to keep the count in the mind and chant. The main purpose of mantra itself controlling the mind. And the beats is smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. You should feel the touching of the lotus feet of the Lord when you're touching the beads. And you're just pulling him towards you, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You're pleasing him and pulling him towards you. This is how you get attracted to the Lord. And Lord gets attracted to our purity, our sincere chanting, attentive chanting. And what I can say, without beads, it cannot be claimed as japa. It can be smaranam. Whenever you're working, you're doing some work and you're doing sitting, thinking in mind and chanting. This is all smaranam. Only beads on hand is claimed to be japa. Yeah. So without japa beads, it cannot be japa. Yes, Prabhu. Next.
Okay. So next question is from Vaishali Mataji only. Sanjaya was conveying everything to Dhritarashtra. So did he tell the Gita also to him? And did it not have any effect on him whatsoever?
Do you think whoever is hearing Bhagavad Gita here, everyone are being affected by this? Everyone will take. And the attendance you can see from the day one, it is reduced. No? So why will Dhritarashtra will change? So demons will never change. Even hearing from a pure soul. I forget about Sanjaya saying to Dhritarashtra. Krishna gave his personal association to the devotee. Gave his personal association to them. Even then, they did not change. That's what Krishna is giving us a message. It's not that some Mahatma is with us, some devotee is giving the association. How far we are willing to take the association. Not that me coming here every day and saying this Bhagavad Gita and teaching. How far you are willing to accept this and implement it. That matters. So Dhritarashtra was blind. In the very first verse I told you. He was blind externally and internally. Physically also he was blind and mentally also he was, spiritually he was a complete blind person. So he was not in a situation to accept. That way he did not take up. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So next we can see some feedback.
Yes. Prabhu, little hurry, Prabhu.
Yes.
I have a class in the temple, so just.
Okay.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, you can.
Yes. Here Nandita Mataji says nice, and Shweta Mataji says it is informative and effective regarding mind. And Rajata Shetty says, enlightening in Bhakti Yoga. And Harsha is today gained great knowledge. Venkatesh, he says, going deeper towards Krishna consciousness. Good. Then Papa Rao, Rajapuram, he says, good. And Renuka Mataji says, good. And once again, Vaishali Mata says, pranams to the great acharyas for having read, understood, and simplified the Gita for the benefit of us. What? Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then Vasant, yeah, he says it is very effective session about the mind and its behavior. The way Prabhu explained is awesome. I am able to understand the complex things is easy way with help of stories. Amazing, Prabhu. It's nothing done by me, Prabhu. It's all by the mercy of my spiritual master. Then Aruna Kumari, good. Then Raghavendra Nayak, a change in my life. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, bro.
Okay, now do you have any questions? You can raise your hands, or else we can end the session.
So it's one small announcement.
Yes,
So
please.
tomorrow onwards, we are thinking to start Prabhupada's chanting rounds.
Okay.
So that people who don't have
So
mala, they can
yes. At 5:30. So from so many days we are starting from 5:30 a kirtan by Prabhupada. From tomorrow 5:30 we'll be starting the chanting session. So without even beats, you can attend the session at 5:30, and before starting session itself, you'll be able to chant 2 rounds along with Srila Prabhupada with the numbers. You can see in the screen with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in that way. So you can chant 2 rounds. And then personally, somebody can take up, as today Kirtiraj Prabhu did the kirtan. Tomorrow, someone else can take the kirtan, the chanting, and they can do the chanting. So 3 rounds very easily. Before the session, you can complete 3 rounds of chanting also. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Anything else, Prabhu?
no problem. That's it.
Thank you. So I thank each and every devotee of the session for attending today's session. So once we'll chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and wind up the session. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all. I'll give you the option to unmute yourself and say once Hare Krishna and leave them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Venkatesh Prabhu, Vaishali Mataji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Vasant Macha,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Shweta Mataji, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Saraswati Mataji, Divya Mataji, family, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sandhya Mataji, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Archana Mataji, Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna to everyone. Sindhu Mataji, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Chandrasekhar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for joining the session. We'll continue tomorrow with chapter 9. Hare Krishna.
Great.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Let's end the session. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Yes.
Have a great day. Hare Krishna.